Guys, it's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have some big topics and updates to provide. Firstly, Barcelona have pretty much selected their reinforcement in the left wing position priority, and that is Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Of course, last night got pocketed by Koundé, and now today being linked with Barcelona. Apparently, Barcelona, of course, do want to reinforce the left wing position, and he is the selected and chosen one to be the one coming in this summer. Also, some updates on the pivot, of course, which is the main priority for Barcelona, as Joan Kimmich is very likely to leave Bayern Munich this summer, and of course, Barcelona being one of his ideal and main destinations. But he's not the only Bayern Munich player that we've been linked with. Alphonso Davies, according to reports, his agent had a meeting with Deco where he discussed a possible transfer this summer, maybe in 2025 when he's going to be a free agent, and we do have the details of that meeting and also the salary and the fees that Alphonso Davies is asking for to join Barcelona. And finally, we do have a managerial update. Of course, we're now down to 3 very concrete names in Roberto De Zerbi, Hansi Flick, and Thomas Tuchel. These are the 3 frontrunners right now to become the new Barcelona manager in June. We have an update on all the 3 situations in regards to Barcelona and who right now is the leading candidate. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of different items from different clubs, from CONCACAF, Seria A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. They have a jersey from any country, any league basically in the world, and of course they do have some Barcelona merchandise. I do have here 2 items they have sent me, which I think is absolutely fantastic. One is this limited edition black kit. I believe this was a concept. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it has the Spotify logo there, and also this one is what caught my eye the most. It is this kind of retro. It has the first ever badge for Barcelona in the middle there as well. It looks so sick, and they have different options very similar to this one for all different clubs and country. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and check out LU Soccer today for the best prices and also the best quality. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now we're first going to be discussing a player that has been linked with Barcelona a lot, I would say, in the past year, and now the links are getting stronger and stronger and stronger, as we did anticipate on the channel, and it is around Joan Kimmich, with Bild in Germany reporting that Joan Kimmich could leave Bayern Munich this summer. His relationship with Thomas Tuchel, who is now going to be leaving Bayern Munich, so that might change his perspective, is broken. FC Barcelona are following the situation very closely. Again, with Kimmich, he will be a free agent next year, so now is the prime time for Bayern Munich to sell him or to try their best to renew his contract. Now, if they get a new manager that might convince Kimmich a lot, that might, change his perspective to renew. For me, the most important thing is to not overspend. I feel like Kimmich and Amadou Onana are slowly but surely becoming the 2 options for Barcelona, mainly in the pivot. I think Zubimendi is just a lost cause and just a dream at this point. Kimmich, for me, if we spend anything more than 50 million euros, it's a no-go for me. If Amadou Onana and Kimmich are the same price, who would you go for? I think that's a debate in itself. You have Kimmich, who's more experienced. You have Onana, who's younger, more physical. Kimmich, more technical, but can't really play in the double pivot. Neither can Onana, to be fair, as well. That was where the debate comes in. I think Kimmich is more so to suit our new coach. I'll tell you for free right now, like I said a lot on the channel, our new coach will probably be German. I think that does, increase the chances of Joan Kimmich coming to Barcelona this summer. So keep your eyes on it. Definitely a possibility, I would say. And with Barcelona leading towards a German coach, that can definitely persuade Kimmich's decision to push a move away from Bayern Munich to Barcelona this summer as well. Now, Kimmich isn't the only Bayern Munich player that we have been linked with, and I would even suggest the links with this player are even stronger than Joan Kimmich, and that is my Canadian brother, Alphonso Davies. According to Gigantes, there was a meeting in Barcelona between Deco and Alphonso Davies' representatives while the agent was in Madrid, and subsequently held a meeting with Barcelona's sporting director the following day. Davies' contract is due to expire in 2025. Again, a lot of these Bayern Munich players are now at a point where they're ready to decide their future. They have to either renew this summer, or they'll probably be sold by Bayern Munich to earn that profit. That way they won't be able to leave for free in the summer of 2025. When I first saw this, I'm thinking, this makes no sense. You already have Alejandro Balde at left back. It's not like we have anyone. And if you do sign Davies, you're going to have Davies and Balde, two top level left backs. And that's not really sustainable. You need kind of one who is the undisputed starter, but the other one being someone who can definitely overtake him if the right pressure is applied. I think with Davies, it's going to be way too much. Now, Mundo Deportivo are reporting that Barcelona officials assured that left back position is our priority to reinforce this summer because Balde is there and there's absolute confidence in him. Therefore, Barcelona will not consider signing Davies now. Now, following all these reports about the meeting taking place, that's already been confirmed at this point. There were no images being leaked by Gigantes, but everyone's kind of agreeing there was a meeting. Gerard Romero, again, the owner of Gigantes, did drop the details of the meeting, saying that Alphonso Davies' agent spent 3 days in Barcelona, and Davies and his agents are asking for a salary of 12 million euros net plus a sign-on bonus. Now, whether this is an offer to sign him for free in 2025 or now remains to be seen. I think it is for the now. So he's asking for 200,000 a week, upwards of 200,000 a week, and also a sign-on bonus as well. That's a bit too expensive for someone where you don't really need a starting fullback. Now, Joan Laporta also said that Alphonso Davies has requested a private room in a hotel to have maximum discretion with the meeting with Deco, but it was not allowed due to the lack of availability in that hotel. So Davies, his agent, really wanted to keep this meeting on the low key, but couldn't because there was no rooms available. That's why the media kind of figured out there was a meeting taking place. I think Barcelona are the top club where they have to be aware of all the top players' movements if they are available. We can see maybe now if we get an offer tomorrow, 80 million from Man City for Balde, we're like, hey, you can sell Balde for 80 million, use probably 50 million of that, get Alphonso Davies. Happy days, you know what he wants, all these things like that. But again, Madrid are the ones that are really pushing for Davies. They kind of do need a fullback, and it is a big move for Alphonso Davies as well. Now, finally, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that at the moment, I'm not aware of Barcelona working on a deal for Alphonso Davies. Also, the salary requested by Davies is big, which will be considered complicated for Barcelona due to FFP. At the moment, there is nothing concrete. I think, again, more so Barcelona just getting their foot in the water a bit, just maybe with the agent for other reasons, and just asked about Alphonso Davies. I don't know if his agent has other players that Barcelona might be interested in the future. I really don't see anything concrete in this. I think we don't have Balde in our squad, then definitely this could be a possibility, but with Alejandro, I highly doubt we make a move for Davies. And again, the backup fullback is what we're looking for, and Davies is very much a higher level than a backup left back. I think we're looking at right now Alex Xavi and Sergi Cardona as those two options. I think Davies bit too big for him. I think if he wants to be a backup at Barcelona or start for Madrid, I think the decision is quite clear at this point. But the fact we had a meeting is something that definitely shows that Barcelona is interested in Davies. So wait to see how things turn out. You never know if Balde, remember we talked about in the last video how Barcelona would be open to selling Balde if a good offer arrives. Again, not going to put him on the market or push him out, but if that offer comes in and it's good enough, they will accept it. You then spend half of that on Davies, bada bing, bada boom. You could even argue that could be an upgrade in some sense. So I personally would stick with Balde. I back him. I back the player from La Masia. I think last season he showed me enough that he has the ability and the ceiling to grow even further as a fullback. This season he wasn't the greatest, of course, and of course getting that injury as well. So we'll see how things turn out. But Barcelona have shown interest in Alphonso Davies, and that could be a possible move in the future. But for now, definitely nothing concrete. Now, a player's name that has gained a lot of momentum in the Barcelona media recently has been the left winger Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, who got absolutely locked down last night by Jules Koundé in the Champions League tie. But nonetheless, Barcelona are looking for a left winger this summer, and he has kind of made it to the top 3 contenders for that position. Now, there have been reports coming in from Barca Times and also with another Georgian reporter as well, who's going to be close to Kvaratskhelia's side. They've come out saying that Barcelona have contacted the agent of Khvicha Kvaratskhelia in the past few weeks. The club is heavily interested in the Georgian for the upcoming summer transfer window. It won't be an easy deal because of the economic situation of the club, but the club estimates that if there is a good sale, it could be a possibility. It's possible to make a move for him, and it would cost around 90 to 100 million euros. No thanks for that price. I think from the initial report that we talked about a few days ago from Mundo Deportivo, that Mitoma, Martinelli, and Kvaratskhelia were kind of the 3 left wingers that Barcelona are watching out for. Kvaratskhelia, 100% the better of the 3. He's more of that natural winger. We saw when the one time where he got the better of Koundé yesterday. That's what you want to see in a Barcelona left winger for sure, when he got that nutmeg and then he used that speed to go around Jules. But for that price, big no-no from me. Now, Roberto De Zerbi from Mundo Deportivo also confirmed the reports as well from Fernando Polo that he talked about a few days ago, and also this one as well from Barca Time, saying that Kvaratskhelia is Barcelona's preferred option in the left wing this summer. So if he's the candidate, As the profile, the player, I have no problem with it. But again, my issue is the price. I would not spend more than 50-60 million euros on Kvaratskhelia. I think that's his very fair evaluation after a poor start, or not poor start, poor season, you could say, underwhelming season after being Seria A player of the season last season. And this is a player that's going to be still having season to grow. He's still kind of a bet in the sense that you never know if he just has one good season, one season wonder, and falls off and just kind of becomes mid throughout his whole entire season. That's going to be a Barcelona side to take on that risk. Upwards of 70 million euros for me, I wouldn't touch it. I think Rafael Leao, who is a better player than Kvaratskhelia as of this current moment, I would take, and he's probably going to be around that price as well. I think he has 150 million euro release clause with AC Milan, but AC Milan would accept around 70, 80 for him, and I think he is better than Kvaratskhelia as of Thursday, February 22nd. So for me, the price is the main obstacle. I wouldn't spend too much on him. Maybe if you want to include some variables, that's fine. But it's going to come down mainly, of course, to the price. So we'll wait and see how things turned out. But again, looks like Kvaratskhelia is Barcelona's preferred and first option to reinforce the left wing position this summer. Let's now discuss the future of Frenkie de Jong at Barcelona. You can kind of count this as a renewal update and also an exit update as well. Following his big press conference pre-match against Napoli, where he absolutely called out the media, there have been some reports and news coming out afterwards. Now, in regards to that press conference, of course, we heard that Frenkie de Jong was going to be in the press conference on Monday evening, and according to Nico from Cope, it was Frenkie de Jong himself who asked to go out for the pre-match press conference. He wanted to clear out all the noise. So he was the one that asked the media team at Barcelona saying, hey, can I do this press conference because I want to go out, speak, call out the press, whatever the case may be. Now, Antonio Juan Martí has also come out saying that here's some more information about the Frenkie de Jong presser the other day. He himself asked the club to let him go to the press conference, again confirming what Nico from Cope said. Frenkie was bothered by the fact that it was said that he was considering leaving Barcelona, since he believes that this is not the case, and consequently it is impossible for him to have mentioned this to anyone around him like Ronald Koeman. Frenkie also denied in the press conference that he has a renewal offer on the table, so he's not delaying any responses. There's no offer on the table. His agent is in constant contact with Barcelona. The Dutchman deferred his salary during the COVID pandemic, receiving a very low percentage of the fixed salary in those years. What postponed it then, therefore, must be recovered until the end of his contract. This is the reason his salary looks inflated and is angered by the false numbers around his salary that are circulating in the media. So we kind of knew that last point, but the other 2 points is something very important. So apparently Frenkie de Jong's entourage and himself don't really talk to Koeman, Luis Kanu and all that stuff, but there's still definitely a connection there, I feel like. In regards to the second point, this is something that we have to ask Deco. I mean, Deco does speak a lot in the media, especially recently, pre-match, post-match, when he's talking with La Liga. Even last night in the Champions League, he came out defending Frenkie de Jong in the pre-match press conference, and that's how he felt to be fully back Frenkie. Why did not anyone ask him, hey, did you offer Frenkie a renewal, yes or no? Because now we're kind of getting the opinion that Frenkie de Jong doesn't have a renewal offer on the table, but literally top sources in Barcelona are saying he has a renewal offer on the table. He's actually had it now for about 3 weeks, so kind of hard from a Barcelona fan to pick who you believe, but of course I'm going to be siding with Frenkie de Jong. The words coming out of the mouth beat all the paper talk and media and rumors and all those things like that. Now, following the press conference later on in the evening, TV3 had their usual show, and Luis Kanu did make an appearance, and of course he was the one that kind of started this whole thing. He came out saying that Frenkie de Jong's salary is not 40 million net, which we all thought he was on, which is, around 400,000 a week. Whoever's saying this, they are lying. His salary is actually 16 million euros. And the player is tired of these rumors and it's affecting his life. Apparently the 16 million actually is gross, which means that Spain, the athletes get taxed half, so he's only pocketing 8 million net, which I would dare say he's getting underpaid. We went from ridiculously, exponentially overpaid to kind of underpaid. 8 million net for Frenkie. I mean, if the fact that Lewandowski is earning double than him is, for me, absolutely wild, but those are the actual correct numbers now. So you see, even Frenkie in the press conference saying that 40 million is not true. It's wide of the mark. So now we're hearing 16 from Luis Kanu. I think, again, Luis Kanu is close to Frenkie de Jong, let's be honest. I think, is this maybe Frenkie de Jong speaking to the media? No, but I think definitely someone in Frenkie de Jong's entourage is telling this stuff to Luis Kanu, and he's coming out in the media and speaking about it. But the reality is, despite all this noise and Frenkie de Jong coming out, calling out the media, rightfully so as well, we're still in the same spot. He either has to renew his contract or he's going to be sold this summer. We're still in that lingo where we're waiting for him to make a decision. Can you hold on to him until 2025? Maybe, but what's the point of risking it? Before the summer, he has to renew his deal. Whether he takes a salary increase or decrease, that's between Frenkie de Jong and the club. If he does not renew, he just have to be sold, in my opinion. Now, in that press conference, Frenkie was saying, "I love the club. I want to be here for many more years. Let's hope and pray that Frenkie de Jong does end up putting pen and paper to a brand new deal at Barcelona," which of course he fully deserves. So we'll wait and see how things turn out in that sense. But again, the noise is getting a bit quiet now. Frenkie de Jong is saying that he wants to stay at the club. All this stuff about the numbers aren't being true. The reason why Barcelona wanted to sell him in the first place and renew his contract was apparently he's earning 40 million gross, but now it's turned out to be 16 million gross, which is way less than half of the rumored number. So that will probably ease the conversation a little bit. So we'll see how things turn out with Frenkie de Jong. But again, hopefully we can get this decided and make a move as soon as possible. Maybe around the April international break we can get some movements in that sense. But hopefully Frenkie de Jong does continue at Barcelona. Let's now discuss the updates in regards to Barcelona's search for a new manager. Again, in every single transfer video now, we're going to be getting these until the new manager is appointed. Again, we're still down to the three main contenders, and that is Roberto De Zerbi, Hansi Flick, and Thomas Tuchel. We do have an update on all three of their situations. Firstly, on De Zerbi, coming in from Mateo Merito, he's come out saying that according to my sources, De Zerbi's arrival at Barcelona is complicated only because of his release clause, which is set at around 10 to 15 million euros. Yes, Barcelona likes him because of his style suits them perfectly, but from an economic point of view, it is a complicated operation. Now, we are hearing reports in the UK that apparently Brighton want to renew De Zerbi's contract, but De Zerbi is not interested in a renewal, so that may lead to a potential exit. So we've been hearing a lot in the media about the only qualm about De Zerbi is his release clause. If there's no release clause, Barcelona probably would have approached him by now, maybe tried to, get the foundations of a deal for him to join Barcelona in the summer. That probably would have been established. But with him having that release clause, it does complicate many of things. And I will say this again, if we play this release clause, that is the worst decision I have ever seen in my life. But more so because of the summer transfer window. If you tell me, oh, we're gonna pay De Zerbi 10 million to come here, but we'll have money to spend on the players that we want to spend on in the summer, Joao Felix, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, pivot, left back, then I'm like, fine. But if you pay 10-15 million for De Zerbi, then we go in the summer, oh, we want to get Alex Garcia, but we kind of spend that money on De Zerbi, so we're gonna have to just stick with what we've got. That for me is where the big problem comes in. So again, the only crumb right now about De Zerbi is his release clause. I think Barcelona tried to tell him, try and remove it, try to, reduce it, maybe pay it out of your own pocket. That's definitely going to be in the works, so wait and see with De Zerbi. But again, still a very hot contender for the job. Right now, I would say if we were to appoint a manager tomorrow, or right now, the end of the season just comes tomorrow, the clear favorite right now is definitely Hansi Flick. Now, according to sources on Barca Times from Twitter, Hansi Flick is the favorite candidate to replace Xavi at Barcelona next season. There have already been conversations more than once with his camp. Hansi is determined to take the idea of coaching Barcelona and taking the project forward. The coach wants a new project in a new country, and according to sources close to him, he's not interested at the moment in returning to Bayern Munich, even if Thomas Tuchel is fired during the season. We'll talk about that later on. There are many clubs who would be interested in taking his services for next season, and there's no final decision yet from his side either. Laporta and several board members appreciate his personality and his method of training. The club also received quite a few recommendations about him as well. So Hansi Flick, he likes the Barcelona move. Of course he does. Who wouldn't like the move? And, it's now just down to the final details and actually Barcelona making that official approach to Hansi Flick as well. And there have been reports coming in from Germany as well saying that Hansi Flick has no intentions of being an emergency solution for Bayern Munich. He's leaning more towards a long-term project like Barcelona, who are showing genuine interest in Germany. And we'll talk about Tuchel's situation. But again, Hansi Flick, you thought the only worrying thing about him is that he might return to Bayern Munich, whether they sack Tuchel now or he leaves at the end of the season. But Hansi Flick is more interested in a newer project and something that's more long-term. Whoever is going to Bayern Munich will probably be a short to medium-term project, but with Barcelona, of course, the plan is more long-term. Now, finally, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that my understanding is that no contact had taken place with Bayern Munich so far for Hansi Flick. The feeling is also that Flick would like to coach Barcelona and try an experience abroad for sure, but Barcelona will take some time before deciding on their new manager. As I mentioned in recent weeks, Flick can only wait on this one, but for sure, he would love to become the new Barcelona manager. I think Flick at the moment is the favorite. It's between Flick and De Zerbi. You could say Flick, there's a big risk. His last few jobs hasn't done that well. The only reason why I think he's a contender over De Zerbi is that he does not have a release clause. He's free. He's jobless at the moment. That really puts Hansi Flick in a very, very positive position. He is, German philosophy, German coaching style as well, that which Barcelona are looking for. And the final option is, of course, Thomas Tuchel. Now, Bayern Munich did announce yesterday that Thomas Tuchel will leave the club at the end of the season. Tuchel's confirmed this in his press conference as well. Bayern Munich have announced it officially. He's basically pulled a Xavi. He said, you know what, I'm going to leave at the end of the season. Let's now go out there and push and, make an effort 100%. Now, following his resignation, you could say, or him quitting or Bayern Munich agreeing to say, let's cut ties at the end of the season, Tony Juan Martin came out saying the possibility of Thomas Tuchel joining Barcelona is very real. He is attracted to coaching in Spain. Sky Germany, plenty of goals come out saying that Thomas Tuchel is not in talks with any club right now, but he's very open to a move to Barcelona, and he is on the list of other candidates as well. He's focused on Bayern Munich now, but he wants to take over a new club in the summer. For years, there have been, analysis about Barcelona and the club's DNA. Tuchel's fan sided by La Masia. He's met Cruyff in his lifetime, and he exchanged ideas with Pep Guardiola as well. Tuchel is a fan of Spain and above all Barcelona as well, but he can also imagine himself returning to the Premier League. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo again reported a few days ago that Thomas Tuchel offered himself to Barcelona, came out after his resignation saying that Thomas Tuchel knew that he wouldn't last at Bayern Munich past this season, and that's why he offered himself to Barcelona a few days ago. This is our top 3 contenders. I will tell you right now for free, 100%, Hansi Flick, Thomas Tuchel, or Roberto De Zerbi will become the new Barcelona manager. The question now is, who do you pick, and also what order of the priority it is. I think from the Barcelona point of view, the order was number 1, Hansi Flick, number 2, Tuchel, and number 3, De Zerbi. Again, De Zerbi, the only reason why he's down there is because of that release clause. For me personally, they all have their pros and cons. I don't see, one that I'm thinking he's the man. That's a clear favorite. If they appoint Tuchel tomorrow, okay, pros, cons. Hansi Flick, okay, pros, cons. De Zerbi, okay, pros, cons. There's nothing out of these 3. They're good managers, but none of them really stick out to me per se, saying that, he's the one, get him. If we appoint any of the 3, I'll have the same feeling. It is what it is. Let's see how he does. That's how I feel. If I could pick out of the 3, I don't want to pay for De Zerbi, so I'd rule him out. Between Flick and Tuchel, I'll probably just pick Tuchel because he's been a bit more active and he has a better track record overall, I would say, at different clubs and different styles of play. Hansi Flick has won Tuchel in COVID as well. That's my standpoint. Again, for me, the club can point any of these 3. I have the same feeling, but if I could pick, I guess I would pick Tuchel more so for his current activity in football. But I'll wait and see how things turn out. I think, again, no other names going to come about. If they do, then fair enough. But I will tell you right now for free, I think it will be a German coach. Whether it's Hansi Flick, Thomas Tuchel, maybe a Nagelsmann remontada, I think we are set to see a German coach at Barcelona next season. Although De Zerbi could have a chance if he kind of removes that or, deals with and solves his release clause issue. But we'll wait and see how things start out with the new manager. But again, the candidates are slowly but surely narrowing down, and we're pretty much now to 3 in Tuchel, Flick, and De Zerbi. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to know firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the new manager. Who would you select? Who would be your ideal candidate? And out of those 3 that we mentioned, in Tuchel, Flick, and De Zerbi, who would you go for? Second, your thoughts on Kimmich, your thoughts on him becoming the pivot for Barcelona next season. How much do you pay for him? Do you think he's a good viable contender as well? Third, your thoughts on these Davies rumors, if there's anything concrete in there. Would you go for Davies this summer, costing you probably around 40 million transfer fee and then 200,000 a week? And what are your thoughts on Khvicha Kvaratskhelia being a selected option for Barcelona to reinforce the left wing position? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca. Yeah.